Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are continuing our What If series and today we are going to recap episode 4. So if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe my channel for more upcoming episodes of What If. So without wasting any further time, let's get into it. The episode begins with the Watcher, who, looking at the present as well as all the other timelines, is just lost in his thoughts. You guys can agree that it is not the Watcher's job to interact. Where the first entry is now our dear Stephen Strange, that is Doctor Strange's. And this is taken straight from the scene in the movie where Doctor Strange is getting ready for a party. But at that time he is alone in the movie. But this time Kristen, that is the girlfriend he had, is also with him. For his famous Lamborghini. And there is also an Armani suit. But now, as the name of this whole series is called What If, that means that some scandals are bound to happen. So in the movie we were shown that he gets hit by a car coming from the front and he falls down from the other side of the road, inside which his hands get very bad. But at this time, as Kristen is with him, so although nothing goes wrong with his hands, but Kristen dies there. At the same time, Kristen's funeral is also shown the next day. And this whole incident makes a very bad impact on Doctor Strange. Now, however, if the reference of the movie is taken, then he reaches Camertage to make his hands back ready, that is, absolutely perfect. But this time in this episode he reaches Camertage to move on from his life. Where the entire scenario of the movie is exactly the same, he goes and meets Mordo, then meets the Ancient One. There he learns to create new dimensions with that ring, and as usual he meets Dormammu directly at the end of the movie and makes a deal with him that involves a time loop. And by this time Doctor Strange has mastered all his art. Here they also save the world from Dormammu, but along with this incident, now Ancient One is also not with them. But as it is the nature of human being that despite everything, he expects more, so now all these things start happening with Doctor Strange, and from here his mind manipulation starts. Where he starts to miss Kristen, and then he wonders if he has a time stone. If he can reverse the timing of anything, why not go back in time to save Kristen? And he uses his time stone to go straight to the time he chose to take Kristen to the party. But now Doctor Strange knew that now he will collide with the car coming from the front, so this time he drives the car a little slower. But even after going forward for a while, it is of no use, because a car comes from behind and hits them, and the same incident which happened last time, the same incident happens this time too. And after that the story takes a new turn. He tries to break the absolute point all the time when Kristen's accident was going to happen there. Sometimes he drives the car slow, sometimes he takes some other route, and sometimes he changes his destination. But where there is an absolute point, that thing continues to happen at that point. Doctor Strange tries his best to save Kristen, but he fails every time. They seem to fail within the effort, and then after trying many times, there comes a time where the Ancient One comes to meet Doctor Strange, and she tells the doctor, how many times you have tried, why don't you move on in your life? So although these things hurt Doctor Strange a little, but what to do, the passion of finding love never ends. So he reaches in a different timeline, in a different dimension, where he is looking for Mr. Cagliostro. This is the same book from where the Ancient One used to draw some powers from the Black World to keep herself young and fresh all the time. And this was the same book from which Doctor Strange had learned to control the time completely. But at this time he had come here to meet the author of this book, that is, Mr. Cagliostro. But there he was not present at that time, but there was a person present who gives his name as Abang. This was the main purpose of Doctor Strange to come here, because he knew that only Cagliostro was the only person who can break the absolute point of time. Now that Abang happens to be a librarian, he allows Doctor Strange to enter Cagliostro's entire library, which houses a lot of Cagliostro's books. And as we know that Doctor Strange loves to read books and acquire knowledge, so he reads a lot of books in a very short time. And then he comes to know that to break the absolute point of time, he will need a lot of powers. So now he goes in search of how he can get all those powers. And then he comes to know that there are many such powerful beings in different timelines of different dimensions of the whole universe, with whose power it is possible to break the absolute point. So for this reason, Doctor Strange goes on a new journey from here, in which he goes to different dimensions in different timelines, and starts absorbing their powers by killing the most powerful beings there. Sometimes demons of good dimensions used to get inside him, but sometimes it used to happen that bad demons also used to get absorbed inside him. This meant that our Doctor Strange is slowly becoming very evil. And finally the moment comes when he meets Shumagorath. This Shumagorath was also the same powerful being that we saw in its first episode, and now after absorbing all his powers, it is as if Doctor Strange becomes absolutely evil. But as we all know that the Ancient One always kept her eye on the timelines. So she had already realized all these things, that is why the Ancient One made two different timelines of Doctor Strange. So if there are two different timelines, it means that there will be two different Doctor Strange. So inside this one becomes our evil Doctor Strange, and one becomes Doctor Strange. Then the Ancient One comes and tells the Doctor Strange that if you do not stop the bad one, then our Earth will end in a jiffy. So after listening to these things, now the good doctors start doing their preparations to fight the strange evil Doctor Strange. Where Wong also helps them. And the Doctor covers Strange but with a powerful spell. The strongest fight of this episode, where both these Doctor Strange fight with each other. When we finally see that this Doctor Strange is much more powerful than the normal one, and there comes a time when he completely absorbs the powers of the normal one. And now the time has come when the evil Doctor Strange has all the powers with the help of which he can break the absolute point, and finally it happens. But there the Watcher comes and interacts, although we have seen 3 episodes of it so far, where the Watcher is watching all this, but never interacts, but this time he does, but still the evil Doctor Strange breaks that absolute point without listening to them, where now Kristen's life is saved. But now that entire dimension starts getting destroyed, so slowly now Kristen also dies there. She goes. And a moment comes such that when all that dimension is converted into a small purple ball, and with this suspense, this episode ends on what happened to this dimension. And what will happen next. So share your opinion about this episode in comments section, and don't forget to subscribe my channel for more What If episodes. Goodbye.